Welcome to another episode of Bunce and King Fishing. Today we're at Anton Lakes. If you've watched our other videos, you'll see that we do come here quite a bit, but we've not been here this pike season yet.
We decided as the weather's turned a bit colder, we were going to go for a carp fish, but looking at weather, it's down in near the zeros, getting nearly the minuses. So we thought it'd be a good decision to do a pike fish over a carp fish. So we're at the lakes, and now we're going to talk to you about our setups.
Yeah. Just thought I'd take you through my my first rig now that we're here. Bait wise, we've got on quite a lot of different baits here. But I'm going to stick with what the pike will be feeding on, and I've gone with a roach. It's still a bit frozen, but here we are. So I'll put one hook in the head there, and one in the tail. And what I've also done is I've threaded the rig through the tail, so less likely to lose it. And then with a little rubber, you get. Just going to pop that on. Just a little bit more retractant, and this rig I'm just putting on a little dumpy float. I've got a weight there to cock it, and then I've got a stop which I can move up and down the line as I see fit, depending on the depth where it is. The lake is very clear. It's still a bit weedy from the summer, so if I do I'll bring the bait in once I've cast it out every sort of 20 minutes, half an hour. If it comes back with weed, then I'll bring it a bit shallower and bring it up the line a bit. I'm using a 3-pound test curve rod and 20-pound mono. It's what I've always used for pike. I find if I go down to 2.75 rods, then they're just not capable of pinging their bait out as far as I want.
So guys, as you can see behind me, I'm now all set up. Just talk you through my rods and what I've got out there. So on this rod, I've got just a simple float rig. It's just about 2 rod lengths out, just over to the left of me. And on the other rod, I've got a flowing ledger rig. They're both baits are mini mackerel. Cut them in half. At the moment, I've both got head ends with half, and I've got used a bit of monster crab glug, and Mark's made up a concoction of different types of predator glug, and I've soaked that on the ledger rig, bait on the ledger rig. Been here about an hour now. Mark's had a beep. There's quite a bit of activity on the lake with ducks, but the weather's quite cold, so hopefully we'll be in for a good session. We'll be able to show you a few pike. I'll get back to you in a bit.
Well, the float's out now. I can see that it's not on bottom, it's floating around. it's going from my right to my left, away from Nathan's swim actually. So we'll leave it there and see what happens. If it goes too far around, I will recast it, maybe make it a little bit deeper. But yeah, so second rig. Second rig, I'm going to use a ledger. I like ledgers. I think because I know exactly where the bait is. I know it's on the bottom. But as I said, it is a little bit weedy here, so I can combat that. So for the ledger, I've got my line here. And then what I do is I've got a there we are. Got a running running bead with a clip on for the lead. So that goes on first. Then I put a bead on. This is a rubber bead instead of a plastic one. Doesn't really matter either way. And then I've got a little buffer stop. So after I put the bead stop on, I then put these clips on, quick release clips with a swivel. I do tie that on with a blood knot. I always give it a really good test. Also, wet the line when you tie it. The bead stop. I just cover the clip. So our system looks like that. Weight on this one, rig on this one.
So guys, as you've just seen from the underwater footage, Mark is on.
Just put a couple of free offerings out there. Move my float rod and put it straight on top.
I've just seen your dead bait has just dropped to the bottom as well.
Yeah.
He's dropped the dead bait.
Literally that's within a couple of minutes of me putting the bait out. Here she is. I'm not going to worry about weighing her. It's about 6, 7, 8 pound. Happy with that. Well, it's about 10:30 now. We've been here a couple of hours. Had one pike, about 8 pound. I thought I had two out long distance, one float, one ledger, one roach, one mackerel. I cut up an old herring that I had. I cut it in quite small chunks, and I put it about 2 rod lengths out to my left, and then brought the float rod in and popped it straight on top. Within, I don't know, a couple of minutes, I could see a pike over there. I saw it, took the bait, and the float slid under, which you hopefully could see under the in the underwater camera. So I've recast, put that straight back where it was. I've used the herring tail this time. I've only got one roach left. I don't know, I want to save it potentially, but we'll see. The other mackerel, the other one on the ledger, which is quite far out, that's a whole mackerel. I've had a couple of beeps on it. I think the bait's too big. I put it out really so I wanted to get a big pike, but I think I'm going to cut the bait down. It is quite a cold day, I might cut it down, cut it in half, and see. I do have other selection of other baits with me. So I've got one more roach left. I think Nathan's got a couple of roach, so if I need to, I can nick one. What I've also got is I've got some sardines. I could show you, but they're wrapped up in newspaper to keep them frozen. I've also got some smelt. I've got some lamprey section. I've actually got some smelt as well. I've got quite a few sprats. I've got some more mackerel, and I've got some quite big herring. Actually, massive herring. So we're going to see. I'm going to keep chopping and changing. I remember last year we did well on smaller baits. Excuse me. But I also know a few years ago a 20 plus was taken out of here on a whole mackerel. So I guess it just depends on what they're in the mood for. I'm going to bring my mackerel ledger in, see if it has been picked up or not, see if there's any bite marks in it, and then maybe cut it down and pop it back out.
So guys, I thought I'd talk you through a new method if you feel like you have one of those days where you can't even buy a bite. A bit like me today, to be honest. So the method I'll be doing is what I call the pull and reel method, which is on the float. But before I quickly show you that, I'm going to quickly talk to you about the rod and the reel that I'm using. So I'm using a Shimano velocity rod. It's a 3.25 test curve, 12 foot. And the reel I'm using is a, you can see there, Shimano Bait Runner ST6000, and I'm using 20 pound mono line. I think it's important to use heavy gear like fishing. A few people use quite light tackle. You get a biggish pike, they've got sharp teeth, and they're not ready to snap you off. So it's good to have heavy tackle. So I'll put you through this method. So the idea is to do a good cast out. Track with your spot. Let it settle, and then give it a drag in slightly. Let it settle, and move it in again. And do this over until you bring it back to, I'd say about a rod length out from your swim, or 2 rod lengths out. And you might just bring it across the pike that's lying in there and wait. You could have you sit there with your floats out all day and not get anything. You're either doing something wrong, or you're just not where the pike is. So it's a good idea just to try and cover as much area as you can. And this way, by dragging in your float, you're going to cover quite a big area, and you might even come across the pike. Hopefully, that tip will help you. It's helped work for me in the past. Hopefully, work for you.
But I'm always trying to think what's get ready for the next cast. So my next bait, sorry, I'm going to use a smelt which I've already hooked. The only thing we've had hit on so far is the roach. I'm going to put the smelt on one. When I bring the other one in, I'm going to put my roach on the other. If they come in with weed again, I'm going to put floats back on. I'm going to float fish. Just because it is still quite weedy, and I want the bait to sink naturally. I might use, I've got quite a long sort of pencil float, which I'm going to sort of weight it so that it's sort of sitting at an angle, so it's really easy to tell when there's a fish on or whether there's anything playing with it. So it'll either stand up or it'll lay back down. I'm not sure how Nathan's doing, but we'll check in with Nathan. Nathan?
Right. Thanks, Mark. So guys, I actually just cast mine out about 5 minutes before Mark did. As you just saw, he just cast his out. I've changed my baits actually. I've got a sardine now on my float rig, and I've put that just a bit of a shallower depth so it can just float around the lake, hopefully pick up a pike that's lying around somewhere. And on my ledger rig I've actually changed it to a roach, changed it to more of a natural bait that's likely to be in this lake, and I put a bit of predator sauce on that, and hopefully that pick up a pike. It's been quite quiet for me actually, but hopefully it's going to start picking up, and I'll be able to show you a pike. Temperature, it feels like it's dropping actually. It's quite a nice sunny day, but it feels like it's getting colder. Hopefully that will turn on the pike a bit and we'll see a bit more action, and they'll be feeding a bit harder. But I'll keep chopping and changing and keep you updated. I'll see you in a minute.
Feel like a good fish?
You can go home, right?
Huh?
You saying about going home? Drag right.
Oh, it's not bad. See if we can see it over there. What was this? Huh? A roach.
It's the bottom, not far out.
On the bottom. It's looking like a good fish.
Well, it's not that big actually. Run again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So guys, filming.
Yeah.
So guys, that's the piece at the end of my rod. Actually feels a good weight as well.
Yeah.
That was on roach deadbait on a flowing ledger rig. We'll weigh her and we'll get her back.
Yeah.
It felt so good getting that pike. After trying numerous methods, numerous different places around the lake, it actually ended up being the ledger rig that done the business for me. She weighed in at 14.2, lovely pike. We haven't got much left of the daylight, but we're going to keep going on and see if we can catch some more pike for you. While I'm here, just like to say, could you have a quick look on our Instagram page at Bunce and Kingfishing, and hit the subscribe button at the bottom of this video. That would be really great. And leave any comments if you want to give any recommendations of lakes that we could fish at, or methods that you think we should use that you haven't seen us use. That'd be great.
Nathan's on again. Where, just on ledger again?
Yeah. Oh, it's not moving. Oh no, I've lost it. Oh, that weed is there. Damn it.
Back to the drawing board.
You win some, you lose some. Fortunately on this occasion we lost. So guys, as you've just seen, I've lost fish. It took a good run, and I think it just took me into some snags out in the lake. Gutted really, because I think it was quite a good one. Every angler that loses a fish is always going to say it was quite a good one, but I generally thought that was quite a good fish. Win some, you lose some. But anyway, rods are still out, but we are slowly packing up now because the night's drawing in. But hopefully we might be able to get back with you for another fish before we actually finish the session. See how it goes.
Well, all packed up now. Not a bad session, fish each.
Yeah, lost one towards the end of the session. A bit gutted about that, but that's fishing. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah. And apart from the one I got right quite early on, I had nothing all day. No indications, nothing. Couldn't really move around the lake today. There's a lot of dog walkers. We had dogs going in the lake next to me, and you had people constantly feeding ducks with bread next to you.
And there was a lot of commotion the other side of the lake opposite me, with dogs going in and children and adults feeding the ducks.
Yeah.
It might not have been a bad thing though, it might have scared to spook some of the fish over to our side.
Like and subscribe, and see you again soon.
See you soon, bye guys.